Let's pay homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Cheng Kung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Tarchi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, and homage to the Sangha. Homage to the main deity of Homa, the seven-eyed Buddha Mother, White Tara. Sumo. Tanchen Katso, Tutan City. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, how do you do? Aisteru.
Hola amigo. Que quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiba. Shimoji. Jimmy. Yabi. Bilin. Konnichiwa.
师兄好，师兄好。
那么现在我是大家下个礼拜天12月
I would like to make an announcement for next Sunday, December 13th at 3 p.m. There'll be Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva Homa fire offering ceremony. And his mudra this mudra. That's also called Vajra teeth. This mudra is also called the Vajra teeth. The mudra of Siddhigarbha. The mantra. He's holding a kachanka, wearing the 5 Buddha crown, and he looks very dignified. And his hand is holding the bright pearl. And there's some image with him holding an alms bowl. A bowl. And sometimes he's riding on a diting. Sometimes he's seated on top of a lotus. And Siddhigarbha is one of the 8 great bodhisattvas. And his Pure Land is called the Cui Wei Pure Land, which is the marvelous jade. And we refer to him sometimes as the savior of the netherworld, Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva. And Sumu's mom, when she was about to die, she saw the appearance of Grandmaster and also Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva. So next to Grandmaster, there was Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva. So therefore, Grandmaster and Siddhikarpa are like buddies or brothers, and I refer to him as the Golden Padma Kumara. And at the Jiuhua mountain in Anhui, at the peak of the Jiuhua mountain, which is one of the 4 famous Buddhist mountains in China, and the founder was Jin Qiaojie, with the family name Jin or Kim. Maybe it's the ancestors of the Kim Jong-un from Korea. Many people in Korea with the last name Kim. So, I would like to let everybody know Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva, whether you want to be primary supplicant or not, nobody said anything. It's good that you have affinity with Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva. His Pure Land is called the Cui Wei Pure Land. Most people don't know. It's a very nice Pure Land there. So he does not represent only the netherworld, but also there are 6 Siddhikarpas for the heavenly realm, human realm, Asura, hell, hungry ghosts, animal realm. There are Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva in these 6 rebirth realms. If you become primary supplicant, it's very convenient. Because you have affinity with Siddhikarpa Bodhisattva, naturally, you would have some merits. If you really fall to hell, if you fall into hell, perhaps it would be good for you that you have connection with Siddhikarpa. Amitabha. Today we did the Homa of White Tara or White Dakini. This deity is one of the 3 longevity deities. The White Tara who extend lifespan. So longevity Buddha, White Tara and Usnisha Vijaya, they are referred as the 3 longevity deities. So if you become the primary supplicants for this deity,
夭寿，
will not die young.
比较
Perhaps
不会这个突然间猝死。
you will not all of a sudden die suddenly.
这一尊，他是长寿三尊之一。另外，
This deity is one of the 3 longevity deities.
他对
And she has a
这个传染
strength
传染
that for contagious diseases, she
会
can
有抗拒的力量，因为白
she's able to counter, because white is for purification
染
and
病方面，
illness is also some calamities.
上个礼拜我都没有讲，我看看谁
I didn't say this last week. I want to check who becomes primary supplicants.
至少有白度母柱顶，
If you are primary supplicants, you have white Tara on top of your head, then you will not be infected by the contagious
白度
diseases.
柱顶住在你顶上，没有筑起，你跟他有
So, if you have white Tara on top of your heads, or you register for primary supplicants and you have affinity with white
这
Tara,
不是我讲的，
then you can resist the contagious diseases.
在
I didn't make this up.
力度母
Of the 21 Taras, green Tara, white Tara. White Tara is the Dakini who extend lifespan
专门对治
and also
传染病的。
has the specialty to resist contagious diseases.
那么
One
跟
of the 21
师
Taras.
尊很有缘，
And she
唵
has great affinity with Grandmaster.
说哈，唵咕噜呀说哈，唵别扎咕噜呀说哈，
The mantra
就是短咒。
Om Guruya Soha or Om Beja Guruya Soha, the short mantras.
他也曾经教授师尊的这个戒律，
And this deity had taught Grandmaster about precepts.
戒的经典
So the Vinaya,
非常明白。
the sutras about the
所以我写
precepts,
了一本书，
says very clear about them.
家世的宝剑，
Therefore, I wrote a book called The Precious Sword of a Yogi.
白度白空行母所传授的。
They were transmitted by White Tara, White Dakini.
那么戒律学也是戒学，也就是
The Vinaya, or the study of the precepts,
当论当中的一项。
is one of the 5 great treatises.
在进入
Before
的时候，先以一个笑话，
the Dharma teaching, I would like to start with a joke.
这个伏特加加上冰块
Vodka plus ice
伤肝，
will harm the liver.
酒大部分都会，
Most
大
alcohol
部分都会伤肝，
will injure the liver.
加冰块
And brandy plus ice also will harm the liver.
加冰块，
Whiskey plus ice will also harm the liver.
冰块也一样。
And sorghum wine plus ice
事
too.
项可以证明
So the
冰
above
块一定有毒。
can prove that the ice is the one that's poisonous.
其实哦，大家知道的，有毒的不是冰块，
The toxic one is not the ice but the alcohol.
所以在五戒当中啊，我们有五戒。
So of the 5 precepts,
杀、盗、淫、妄、酒。
of the not to kill, not to steal, not to adulterate, not to lie, and not to be intoxicated. So alcohol is one of them. The alcohol can harm the liver. So now, like Grandmaster, diet is extremely important. Grandmaster pay great attention to his diet. If you take in too much sugar when you were young, you did not know. Everybody loves sweets. Everybody had the bowl. And I would eat 2 bowls. And then Simu said, reminded me, how could you eat 2 bowls of sweets? As soon as he said that, I would eat 3 bowls. So now we know that eating sugar will harm the heart, the pancreas. If you eat too much sugar, your heart and pancreas will be hurt. If you eat too much salt, it would harm your kidneys. You cannot eat too salty. And you cannot take too much fat and oil. It would harm your liver. So there are a lot of things because you eat too much. It would be harmful. So you should eat less salt, less sugar, less fat, and eat something lightly, not too rich. We all know when we were young, our moms would wake us up. And sometimes if you live in the villages, the roosters will call you out of bed. And then the alarms wake us up. And for Grandmaster, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and protectors will wake me up. And as you grow even older, the one who wakes you up is your bladder. So it's very important. Diet and age. As I remember, there's a phrase like this: when you're young, we are bringing down our bodies. As we age, our bodies bring us down. So pay attention that illnesses come through the mouth.
这个现在进行你问我的。
Now we will do the question answer.
是台湾
Asked by Taiwan 莲花怀子。
顶礼根本上师莲生圣尊。
Homage to the lineage of Guru Living Buddha Lian Shan.
曾以一位没有信仰。
Once I discussed with an agnostic friend who likes to talk about philosophy and religion. He asked, the God in Christianity, Brahma in Hinduism, are creators of the world. They should be the greatest existence in the universe. Buddhism recognizes that the creator of the universe is Brahma and not the Buddha. So why does it state that Buddha is greater than the creator? I didn't have time to ponder, but replied nonetheless. Buddha Dharma is absolute and not relative. Christianity and Hinduism talk about creation as well as destruction. So they are still limited by the relativism. But Buddha nature is an absolute with no arising and no ceasing. Therefore, it is deeper than creation and destruction. I did also explain to this friend that I was unable to explain what is the ultimate Buddha Dharma. So, Grandmaster, to someone newly acquainted with Buddhism, was my answer above incomplete or misleading? How should I add to it? So what he said was not bad. We say it this way. The so-called Brahma in Hinduism, Mahabrahma of the heavenly realm of form, and God in Christianity, and the God in Judaism, and God in Muslim, and God in Catholicism, and God in Orthodox. They're all the same and one God. According to Buddhism, why is the Buddha an absolute? Because he's beyond the 6 rebirth realm. He's not part of the 6 rebirth realm. Brahma has the creation, existence, deterioration and emptiness. And his lifespan is 100 million years. However, in the heavenly realm of form, if you exhaust your merits, you would still be in the rebirth cycle. The lifespan is very long, about 100 million years. So creation, existence, destructions and emptiness will not be able to fathom the Buddha. But this creation, existence, destructions and emptiness can relate to the heavenly realms of desire, form, and no form, which are still part of the rebirth cycle. So we can say that God and Brahma are still part of the rebirth cycle. So we take refuge. We take refuge in the Buddha. That Buddha is like our teacher. We take refuge in the Dharma, which is all the teachings of the teacher. And if we follow them, we can reach the realm of the Buddha. And we take refuge in the Sangha. And they are the spiritual companions who teach us Buddha Dharma. That's a true refuge. And lastly, you would know, when you take refuge in the Buddha, you can do the self-refuge. Why is it called self-refuge? So you take refuge in the Buddha nature inside yourself, because you originally or intrinsically have the Buddha nature with you. And you take refuge in the Dharma. You take refuge in the rules of speech and conduct. So you take refuge in your own speech and conduct. So speech and conduct. And taking refuge in the Sangha, that your body was originally pure. Then you are an ordained Sangha, or holy person. So this is called the three self-refuge. So you take refuge in your own body, speech, and mind. And the mind is the Buddha Dharma, the speech is the Dharma, and your pure body is the Sangha. So you take refuge in your own body, speech, and mind. So you should understand the meaning of refuge. Why do you need to take refuge in the Buddha? Because to abandon the sixth rebirth realm, when you have no cause for birth, you will have no fruition of death. So you don't have the cause for life and death, and you have no result or fruition of the life and death. The Bible once said that if you go to heaven, you can be with God and Jesus for 1,000 years. If you go to heaven, you would be together with God and Jesus for 1,000 years. But they didn't say, how about after 1,000 years? But what the Buddha taught was, if you take refuge in the Buddha, when you attain Buddhahood, you have been liberated from the rebirth cycle. There is no arising and no ceasing, no birth and no death. So that would be a permanent existence. You want to study Buddha Dharma because Buddha is absolute and not relative. No birth, no death. If there are birth and death, then that would be relative. If there are no birth and no death, then that would be absolute. So actually what he said was also correct. In charismatic Buddhism, we have a special refuge, fourfold refuge. Namo Guru Be. Why do we add Namo Guru Be? Because the Guru embodies the three jewels. So Namo Guru Be means you take refuge in the marvelously virtuous Guru who embodies the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, the three jewels. He symbolizes the Buddha, he transmits the Buddha Dharma. So Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So that's what it meant, that he embodies, because only the Guru, Namo Guru Be, can teach us the true, authentic Buddha Dharma. The second question by the same person, Lian Hua Huaizi. Mathematics and physics extrapolate that the universe has 11 dimensions. Human beings can only detect 3 dimensions. But the fourth and fifth dimensions exceed time and space. They are only discussed theoretically in science and not easy to explain in common language. In science fiction, the fourth and fifth dimensions allow travels through time and space and creation of lives. But higher dimensions are unfathomable to human beings. Grandmaster, the theory of multidimensional travel beyond time and space and the enlightenment realm of seeing through the absoluteness of Buddha Dharma, 10 Bodhisattva grounds up to the 16th ground, are they interlinked? Can we use this scientific concept to let people understand this preliminary concept of Buddhism? This is very profound. You use science, mathematics, physics, and Buddha Dharma linked. It's a way to express. Grandmaster only reached master's degree. Bachelor's degree. But many of the disciples have master's degree. Also, many of them have a doctorate's degree, or even postdocs, like the academician Zhu Siyi. His physics, quantum physics, are amazing.
化学有成就者及物理有成就者，他可以推荐
Physical chemistry. He can extrapolate Buddha Dharma and science together. He's teaching in Taiwan now, and he's also teaching in America. Now he teaches at the University of Taiwan. So he's an academician which is higher than the PhD. So this kind of theoretical thing, I think the Bodhisattva 10th ground up to the 16th ground, they should have some interrelationship. Because the Buddha has said that it reaches the 3 time dimensions, which is the past, present, and future. The past, present, and future. So it encompasses clearly the past, present, and future, and reaches the 10 directions, the spatial dimension, which is north, south, east, and west, and then another 4 directions in between, and then zenith and nadir up and down. So Buddha Dharma clearly reaches the time dimension, the 3 time dimensions of past, present, and future, and the 10 spatial dimensions. So, time and space, which is what Denhua Huaizi said about that it includes all the 11 dimensions. Therefore, Buddha Dharma and science are linked together. Someone asked me, how do we maintain youth? I have to see the person before I teach. And there is an answer that is common. There is no time. Is the way to maintain your youthfulness. Without time, no time dimension, is a way to maintain your youthfulness. That's conceptually. Because time does not exist, then next year I will still be 7. It's my secret. I will not tell how old I am. I would still be the same age. Like when I was 20 years old, and then there's no more time dimension, then I'm always 20. My face will not change. My body and mind will not change. Always the look of a 20-year-old. That's the way to maintain the youthfulness. As long as time doesn't exist anymore. Let me teach you, in your deep sleep, the deepest sleep, do you have the concept of time? No. No concept of time. When you're in meditation, where you're in deep penetration of the paramita, do you have a concept of time? No. Therefore, some people went deep into the mountain and saw a huge, a holy tree, and they cut it open, and there was a human being meditating inside it. So inside the tree there is a space dimension, and where a human being is meditating. So he opened his eyes and he asked the person who cut down the tree, what year or what date is this? And this year. And he asked, is the Venerable Huineng, is Lu Huineng, which is the 6th Patriarch Huineng, still alive, still around? Which dynasty was that? Tang dynasty. Well, of course, the Venerable Hui Neng is not alive anymore. Tang Song Yuan Ming Qing dynasties and then the Republic. How many dynasties have we passed? So who is the Venerable Hui Neng? And he replied, my brother. So you're the Venerable Hui Neng's younger brother? He had no time dimension. So in the Tang dynasty, he entered into the tree and meditated. And when he exited, these dynasties, Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing, and the Republic have passed. Look how many dynasties have passed. So we all know the power of his meditation. How deep his meditation power is. Something like this happened. So you travel through time and space. I can go to the past life. I can also enter into the future. Or I go to the library in the heavenly realm. All my books are there. I wrote it. I went to the library in the heaven. I ask, this book that I'm writing now, Meeting Bodhidharma, which is my book number 280th book. Is it here? And they said, yes, it's not published. You're still writing. Now, I just finished it yesterday. Book number 280. So the 280th book exists in the heavenly library. And I was curious, so I asked, how about my book number 281? Sure. I haven't written it. And I don't even have the title of the book. And I said, let me see the title of the book. And they said, no. And not 281 only, more books. So that's transcending the future. All those books were there long ago, and the titles of the books too. And I haven't written it now. And they also brought me to see books from the past, from my past lives. They took me to see them. You wrote this book, you wrote this treatise, this treatise, this treatise. You wrote them. So I transcend time and space, right? And so I pass through the time and space, and the future books are already there already. So that means that the 3 times are the same, and the 10 directions are all reached. So you go to the past, present, and future, and then all 8 directions and up and down. I've been all in the 10 directions. That's why I taught Tansen Katsu. You have to study until you graduate from college. If someone asks you about this 11 dimensions, if you were an academician like Professor Zhu, physics, chemistry, he understands everything. He would know about the 11 dimensions, the formation of the universe, the past, present, and future, and he could extrapolate from physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Then it would be easy to explain. So you need to have some basic knowledge, and then you add Buddha Dharma to it. That would be beneficial to your Dharma propagation in the future. From Indonesia, Lianhua Xiufen. I wish Grandmaster health and continually turn the Dharma wheel. When I was 9 years ago, I already took refuge in Grandmaster. So she took refuge when she was 8 and 9 years ago, so she's 17. That's a young lady. And I have read many of Grandmaster's books. But up till now, I still have a question unanswered. Non-Dharma and Dharma are a pair of opposites. Grandmaster said that there is a primordial Buddha of the 16th ground, and his Sanskrit name is Adharma Buddha. And the meaning of Adharma is non-Dharma. And Chinese Fa in Sanskrit is Dharma. Dharma. So why was he called the Adharma Buddha, non-Dharma? Because Adharma embodies something bad, because it is the opposite of Dharma. Could it be related to this phrase, one nature and two faces? Buddha and Mara are the same. A young girl, very opinionated. Adharma means non-Dharma. And Dharma, Fa is Dharma. And non-Dharma and Dharma are a pair of opposites. The origin of the word Dharma comes from Sanskrit dhr, which means support, engage or maintain. Dharma includes the meaning of ultimate truths, responsibility, virtues, laws, and even natural order. Add A to Dharma and it becomes Adharma. And its meaning include not the ultimate truth, non-Dharma, and similar opposites. So which shows that's the opposite. The Buddha of the 16th ground, Adharma Buddha. Why he does not belong to the Dharma? Because there is no more Dharma, no more natural order. When you reach that realm, like we just said earlier, that we reach the 3 time dimension of past, future, and present, and the spatial dimension of the 10 directions. That's 0. But Dharma is 1. So thing that's born from 0 is 1. They are not a pair of opposites. One is the primordial, and the other one is birth. Dharma is born, is a birth. Buddha Dharma is a birth. And non-Dharma is above Dharma, which represented by numbers would be 0. 0 encompasses everything. Even the 1 is encompassed in 0. Everything is encompassed by 0. But once it's being born or emanated from it, that would be 1. Dharma is 1. Non-Dharma is 0. The highest realm. Nothing is higher than that realm. That's Adharma. Non-Dharma. The highest realm. According to what the Buddha taught, someone asked the Buddha, how do you speak on the realm of non-Dharma? He replied, cannot be put into words. It's impossible to be described with language. That kind of realm. All I can tell you that non-Dharma is not about words and language. Actually, it's not about words. Non-Dharma is just a symbol. 0 is just a symbol. It is unspeakable. Then Dharma does not exist. If you want to reach the realm of non-Dharma or the realm of unspeakable, you have to return to 1. And from 1 you enter into 0. Then that would be unspeakable. So the Buddha of the 16th ground, Adharma, is unspeakable. And then below him, the 5 Dhyani Buddhas have wisdom that can be spoken. Like Amitabha Buddha is the Buddha of the marvelous observation wisdom of marvelous observation. And Akshobha Buddha is the immovable Buddha. And the wisdom of the mirror-like, the wisdom of equality, the wisdom of all accomplishment, and one more. And because these 5 wisdoms are emanated, therefore the 5 Dhyani Buddhas appear. They are the Buddhas of the 13th ground. So each of the Buddhas are 1. Once they were emanated, they become 1. The wisdom of the Dharma nature, the highest one, that's Vairocana Buddha, or the great son Tathagata. That can be spoken. These 5 wisdoms can be spoken. So, my explanation. So it's not one nature and two faces, and Buddha and Mara are the same. And only when you reach the very high realm that the Buddha and Mara are the same. But Dharma and Adharma are not one nature with two faces. One is unspeakable and the other one is speakable. The 5 Dhyani Buddhas is speakable. So this Lianhua Xiufen with the highest standard, are you satisfied with my answer? Because the highest one is unspeakable. It cannot be described. Next one, Wen Wen did not say the country. Homage to Grandmaster. In the mantra of transformation body of Golden Mother, there is Mulati. What does it mean? The mantra is Om Pancha Chimu Mulati Soha. Mulati. What does it mean? Mulati means transformation. Om, the wise Jinmu, transform, complete. Transformation. Mulati means transformation. Thank you for your question. The girlfriend has a high fever, 39.8, and the girlfriend cried and said, "I'm about to burn to become an idiot." And the boyfriend said, "No, no, you won't. I got a fever of over 40 when I was young." And the girlfriend asked, "So will I be as idiot as you then?" It turned out that the boyfriend was burned in high fever to become an idiot. 40 degrees, that's 40 degrees Celsius, that's very severe. A patient went to the hospital to get an IV, and when it's about done, the doctor got another one, and the patient said, I only want to have one bottle of intravenous. Do I need another one? But the doctor said, "Well, you win the prize, because for that other bottle is you buy one, get one free." Even for the IV bottle, there's also prices. Now we'll talk about Lamdre. The verse, endless expressions, is to show the unimaginable guiding path of the characters. When Qi gradually clarifies and becomes nectar to harmonize, it can bring anything one wishes for. The expressions should be moved to the front, which means in meditation you use the 6 syllables to guide, and the Qi will gradually clarify, will purify your mind, your thoughts, body and mind. and eventually becomes nectar to harmonize very evenly, very good, very pure nectar. It can bring anything one wishes for. Or you can reach the 3 realms. The purer you get, the higher the realm. So the realm of no form, that's highest in the 3 realms, and then the realm of form, and then the realm of desire. And through the power of your meditation, you would know, like Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, when he was in deep penetration, which means in deep meditation. He discovered that form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So that Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva's meditation, as it was written in the Heart Sutra. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, in his deep penetration of paramita, which is when the mind chi of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva entered into a very deep meditation, he discovered the concepts that are written in the Heart Sutra. That's the Heart Sutra. Using it to open the channel knots so that all channels become pliant and harmonious, and the channel characters become all kinds of forms. It is referred as the harmonization of the characters, and by using its power to eliminate major bodily disorder and obstructions, it is referred as the harmonization of the body. So what it meant, your own body can be made so that all channels are open and flowing smoothly without obstructions. That's harmonization. Inside our body, the most important channels are the central channel, the left and right channels, and there are more than 72,000 channels, including the capillaries. They're all channels. All the channels inside your body, as soon as if they are open and can make circulation flow smoothly, that's called harmonization. Then your body will not be in disorder or chaotic. So harmonization of the body means that all the channels inside your body, the 72,000 channels, are all open and can let things flow smoothly. So when the channels are harmonized, that means that all the channels, big and small, are open and flowing. That's what it meant. Thus, of the 4 kinds of harmonization, by the power of harmonization of the characters and ambrosia, generating all kinds of yogic experiences amid rebirth cycle and nirvana, for the starts of affinity of the inner channels and mind chi accumulation are endless explanations, which mean it's impossible to explain them all. You use your body to unite or to merge with the consciousness of the universe. You use the channels inside your body, you make them all open and flowing, and then you can interconnect with the consciousness of the universe. It's impossible to explain all this, which means they're endless. explanations. And we've talked about the 4 kinds of harmonization of the earth, water, wind, and fire. You use the characters and nectar and the power of harmonization, generating all kinds of yogic experiences amidst rebirth, cycle, and nirvana. They cannot be explained completely, which means they are endless. So our body is actually linked or interconnected with the whole, the consciousness of the whole universe. So in order to comprehend the above 2 kinds of starts of affinity of harmonization, it is doubtless, therefore referred as expressions. So, no skepticism. Through the frank pith instructions of the Achala characters, and from it deriving the other explanations as well, although the explanations are endless in Cody years, because the instructions on the inner start of affinity characters cannot possibly be expressed through words. So these 3 characters, if you master these 3 characters, then you would know a lot. 1 is the same as a lot, or many. Many is the same as 1. It cannot be expressed through words. It cannot be spoken about. When you reach such a realm, the harmonization of the body is related to the consciousness of the universe. There is nothing more to say, which means endless explanations. The verse, Secret 50, the 5 abiding paths and 10 bodhisattva grounds, etc., as spoken in Paramitayana, also have these 4 harmonizations. However, they never heard of the instructions on the meaning of the characters, thus they are secret. Just like the Nalikara continent, the coconut continent, the mooing of cows is unheard of. I know there's a continent where you would never hear the cows mooing, but in the continent of the cow, there is the sound of animals. But in the Nalikara continent, you never heard of the mooing of the cow. So that's called secret. The above is the instruction on the causes to rise to meditation. So, causes to rise to meditation, and all the explanations there is on meditation outline and extensive explanation is complete. That's the end of it.
在自己住处坐电梯的时候，遇到邻居。
When getting on the elevator, I met the neighbor uncle, and the uncle said, my wife called me and she cooked 9 dishes and 1 soup. Why don't you come and eat at my house? Because the neighbors are maybe in good terms. And then when I got into his house, it turned out that there's some chive. It turned out that it sounded like 9 dishes, but actually it's like a chive. It's like a stir-fried chives and 1 soup, the egg drop soup. So he misunderstood.
老实讲，一个傻瓜提出来的问题，10个聪明人也回答不上来。
A question asked by an idiot, even the 10 smart people would not be able to answer, and the Xiaoming replied that no wonder I always failed in my tests, because the questions were asked by idiots. The teachers, like the idiots. Xiaoming in high school, the teachers prohibited dirty words. Otherwise, he would be fined $5. And one day, he was not carelessly said dirty words, and the teacher caught him and said, "Okay, now you're fined $5." And then Xiaoming gave the teacher $10, and the teacher said, "I have no $5." And then Xiaoming replied the curse word, and then, "No need to give me a change, then that would be $10."
这是老人家的笑话。王老先生怀疑
This is a joke about elderly.
听力不行，需要助听器，又不敢叫他去看医生。
So, the Mr. Huang did not want his wife, discovered that his wife did not have good hearing, but did not want to ask her to go. So he went to see the doctor, and the doctor said, "You just keep trying it from like 20 meters and then go to 10 meters and then closer and closer." And the wife was cooking, and then the Mr. Huang at the 20 meters asked, "What are we eating tonight?" No replied. And then at 5 meters he asked again, no replied again. And he kept getting closer and asking, and finally it was right in front of her and asked again. And the wife finally replied, "We have fish tonight, and I've told you 5 times." So it turned out the problem is not in the wife, it's his own problem. Om Mani Padme Hum.